Imagine, it's winter, 1993. You're outside of Waco, Texas. You're witnessing a brutal showdown between ATF and cult leader David Koresh. As innocent lives are lost on both sides, the smell of sulfur from all the shooting cuts into your nostrils, so much so that you can taste metal in the back of your throat. Shh. The hostage negotiator's on the phone talking to David Koresh right now. David, if I could get your words read on the radio, what would you say? You're the Lamb of God, and you're here to free the 7 seals? David, you're trustworthy and a man of your word, right? When David Koresh says yes to these 2 questions, it is critical because it results in 18 children being freed. Every time David Koresh's words were read on the radio, 2 more children were released. See, when people feel they matter and belong, cooperation will be strong. Thanksgiving 2016. You're in the suburbs of Washington, D.C. A mother is outside her 11-year-old son's room listening in. She heard a faint click, click, click sound. As she slowly opens the door, she spots her son slumped over the bed. The clicking came from a video game controller, which was practically superglued to his hands for the last 5 hours. She loses her mind. Angus, for the love of God, you are addicted to video games. She begins screaming at Angus for over 20 minutes because Angus looked up at her and said, "What, Mom? What'd you say?" He wasn't even listening. The mother ruined Thanksgiving, and when she stormed out of the room, the little boy felt isolated and dejected. A cult leader and an 11-year-old boy who's an addict? Perhaps you're wondering, what do these 2 stories have in common? Perhaps the better question is, why are we saying good stuff to the bad guys and bad stuff to the good guys? I wasn't here with my fellow ATF colleagues in Waco, Texas. However, that hostage negotiator, Jim Kavanaugh, years later became a mentor and friend to me. See, I'm the kind of person who can take you down with my words. Are you like me, or do you know someone like me? This has resulted in travesties. In college, I got fired from a job. I was mortified to call my parents. My mother cried through the whole call. When I worked for ATF, my coworkers, many of them were intimidated by me. Well, that part I kind of liked a little. See, the way Jim Kavanaugh spoke to David Koresh inspired me to look at my world in a different way. Have you ever had a mentor that did that for you? He inspired me to re-examine the way I deal with conflict and the way that I get people to cooperate. What Jim Kavanaugh shared with me changed my life, and I'm here to share it with you. I call it the cooperation paradigm. Imagine how your lives would be different if you were able to tear down barriers to cooperation with everyone you interact with. Here's how it works. I thought we'd do a little experiment. Let's imagine some of you are on your cell phones today. I know it's going to be hard to imagine, okay? So what I want to do is I'm pouring my heart out up here. You're not paying attention. You're on your cell phones. Here's how I might address you very angrily, not using the cooperation paradigm. Really, sir? You're not even looking at me while I'm on stage? And you people are on your cell phones? Who raised you? You're embarrassing yourselves. You're so narcissistic and rude. Don't ever think you'll get a spot on this stage. How'd that feel? Not so good, right? You don't even know me. I'm a stranger. Imagine being pounded with this kind of negativity by your mother, your father, a teacher, a mentor, and they don't even know they're talking to you this way. I'm a stranger, stranger danger. Now let's use the cooperation paradigm. Shake that off, that didn't feel so good. Same thing, you're on your phones. Here's how a hostage negotiator might do it. Sir, how are you enjoying today? You loving it? It's fun, right? You guys having fun today, throughout the day? Yes? Yeah, you guys, I love this audience. I love there's people in the back. I mean, you guys look like the kind of people who are able to cooperate because you respect what TED stands for. Am I right? Do you respect what TED stands for? Not only are you saying yes, you're cheering. And now you'll put down your phones. See, what just happened is I positively primed your brain, and now I can affect how you perceive short-term thoughts and actions. When I spoke to Dr. Andrew Newberg, he wrote the book, How Words Can Change Your Brain. He explained to me that when we use negative tones and negative words, like in my first example, the amygdala fires in our brain. The amygdala is like the incident commander in law enforcement, monitoring the scene of the crime, looking for any subtle increase in danger. When there's negative tones and negative words, the threat level spikes. Go ahead and detonate an explosion of chemicals related to fear, anxiety, and sadness. Over. You're not hearing me. You're too busy fearing me. However, when the brain hears positive tones and positive words, the threat level goes down and the amygdala makes a different call. Prefrontal cortex, are you out there, good buddy? Prefrontal cortex, over. The prefrontal cortex is the calm and clear hostage negotiator of the brain. Strategic. And it takes over. Oh, this is the prefrontal cortex. I can take it from here, buddy. Now you're hearing me because your brain and body are in harmony. Does that make sense? No wonder why. Angus didn't hear a word his mother said. She came in screaming with negative tones and negative words. I think the former Prime Minister of India put it best, Indira Gandhi, when she said, "You can't shake hands with a clenched fist." Let's pull the curtain back a little further to how the cooperation paradigm works. So you ready? Yes? Say yes, Janine. Yes. Here's how it goes. We'll go back to the cooperation paradigm when I used it with you. First, I said to this handsome gentleman right here, I said, how are you enjoying the day, right? Enjoy the day. And I said, is it fun? I'm asking positive questions. And notice how I said, how. When you're in conflict with someone or you want them to cooperate, use what and how questions, not why questions. Why questions come across as you're judging me. Why did you get your hair cut? Why'd you hang that chandelier over your dining room table? Why, for the love of God, are you giving him another chance? Do you feel it? The judgment? So my motto is allow what and how and say bye to why. Repeat after me. Allow what and how and say bye-bye why. Do this. Go bye-bye why. Yeah, no whys. Allow what and how, say bye to why. The second step is I assigned you the traits I wanted you to have. Maybe you heard it. I said what? You look like the kind of audience who's able to pay attention because what? You respect what TED stands for. Now I've assigned you the traits. Your brain has been primed. I can influence your short-term thoughts, and ultimately you'll put down your phone and not feel judged. Let's go back to that little 11-year-old boy outside of Washington, D.C. Angus, my son. I definitely did not bring my A game to my parenting approach that Thanksgiving. Thankfully, my college roommate was visiting, and when I was done screaming like a lunatic, she gave me a hug. We're on the hug program. She hugged me. She was, Janine, I love you, honey. But you need to talk to Angus like a hostage negotiator, like you teach law enforcement and human resources. You taught me, Janine, when people feel they matter and belong, cooperation will be strong. She added, when you say he's addicted to video games, you're calling him an addict. How many of you have said words in anger and you didn't even think of the word that came out of your mouth? We've been there, right? Well, thankfully, I had that pep talk in a nick of time because a week went by and my sister called, the youngest. I'm the oldest of 3 girls. And I'm on the phone with her. And I'll never forget, the clicking started again faintly through the wall. I'm like, you gotta be kidding me. So I said to my sister, hold on. I put her in my pocket and I get ready to go into Angus's room. And I stop and I pause. What do I want to assign him? What question do I want to ask him? And I went into his room. I went in for the win. When I went in, I went over to Angus and I said, hey, honey, how are you doing? He said, good. I go, what kind of game are you playing? Notice I'm using how and what questions. He goes, it's zombie apocalypse, Mom. It's awesome. Tells me all about it. Then I said, how do you win the game, Angus? Do you have to hide from the zombies or kill the zombies? He said, oh, no, you got to do both. I go, so you understand the importance of balance. I just did what? Assigned him my first trait. And then I said, as a matter of fact, you're so strategic, Angus. Even your teachers tell me you make smart decisions. Isn't this true? When Angus gives me these 2 yeses, they're critical because it results in Angus putting down his video game controller and saying, I've been kind of doing this for a while. I think I'll go out swimming. Drama-free. Hello, I forgot my sister's in my pocket. I think it's on pause and mute, and it's not. She's a mother of 3 girls. She heard every single word I said. When I picked up the phone, I'll never forget these wise words she said to me. You have got to be shitting me. Because she walks around assigning her daughters the traits she doesn't want to have, and she doesn't even realize what she's saying. Janine, how did you do that, dude? And I responded, I'm not telling you. You don't have to be a hostage negotiator in law enforcement to use the cooperation paradigm. You just need to have what Jim Kavanaugh has, and I see it in all of you today, kindness. Are you kind? All you need is a little kindness. Here's how it works. I want you to rally your inner hostage negotiator the next time you have a conflict or you want someone to cooperate. And I want you to remember the 3 steps. 1, ask a positive question using a how or what and say bye to why. David Koresh was asked by Jim Kavanaugh, what do you want your words to be if I could get them read on the radio? Step 2, assign the person in your life a positive trait you want them to have. Jim Kavanaugh said to David Koresh, you're trustworthy and a man of your word, right? Step 3, get them to agree. This is where their brain has been positively primed and you can get them to cooperate. I was going to end my talk today with a completely different ending. And yesterday we had a rehearsal in here, dress rehearsal, all of the speakers, and we got feedback, and Angus is with me here in this trip. We came in from Washington, D.C. And after I spoke, I went out in the hall, and he came up to me and he goes, Mom, you did a pretty good job up there. I go, oh, thanks, Angus. He goes, yeah, and tomorrow when you do the real talk, I won't tell anyone the part you made up. The part that's not true. I was like, this is awkward because other speakers around me. Thanks, Angus. What's the part I made up? And he said, you didn't ruin Thanksgiving. We had a great Thanksgiving. And I don't even remember you yelling at me. Sometimes the weight we give to the things we've said to people in the past is way more exaggerated than reality. So whoever's coming into your head while I'm on stage, whether you're thinking of the last word you said to your mother, or something you said to your father earlier today, or your significant other, or even your son or daughter, how about you forgive yourself? Because the cooperation paradigm isn't about yesterday or an hour ago. It's about right now and what you do tomorrow and the days beyond. I believe small acts can change the world. This is my Angus. Who's your Angus?